Yes guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about naps and how they can be implemented in your daily life, things not to do and things to do with regards to naps in terms of length, in terms of time of day, and how, they could be actually the missing tool in your toolbox of recovery, as it were. So let's just get straight into it. So the first thing to say about naps is that they obviously are not a replacement for your nightly sleep. As I mentioned in a previous video, if I get 6 hours in the night and 1 hour nap in the daytime, that is not my 7 hours of sleep. However, naps can be a very, very efficient supplement to your nightly sleep. And if you have had a bad night's sleep or something like that, they can be a very useful addition to the day to kind of bump up your energy levels somewhat. So the first thing to say is that there are kind of two specific windows of time during the day that are kind of biologically consistent with having a nap. And that's going to be between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. and between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m, generally speaking. So these are actually two periods of the day that, like I said, biologically you're kind of hardwired with your circadian rhythm, your body clock, which I'll talk about in another video, to actually have a nap, or what you could refer to as a controlled rest period, let's say. Okay, so 1 p.m, 3 p.m, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Now, what about length of a nap? Because this is where people can sometimes go wrong. Ideally, if you're having a nap at some point during the afternoon, you want it to be maximum 25 or 30 minutes in length. Reason being is because once you go past being asleep for more than 30 minutes, you will then drop into deep sleep. Now, that might sound like a good thing, but obviously in the middle of the day, you don't really want to be dropping into deep sleep because, well, as it's a nap, you're not going to be staying asleep for, multiple hours. And what will happen is, as we mentioned in a previous video when we spoke about the different types of sleep, with regards to deep sleep, as it is a deep, restful sleep, if you are woken up during that stage of sleep, you will feel quite groggy, quite kind of grumpy and disoriented, which is not what you want for the middle of the afternoon, right? So naps, ideally anywhere between, a few minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes in, minimum, let's say, up to 25 or 30 minutes in length, so that we don't drop into deep sleep and so that you're just dosing with light sleep. Like we said, when you first fall asleep at any point, the first 25 or 30 minutes are going to be spent within light sleep. That's where you want to be. That's the sweet spot to kind of bump up your energy levels for the remaining part of the day. And that 25 to 30 minute period can actually be a really, really useful kind of, a bit like a caffeine kick, really. It can really give you a real boost of energy for the remaining part of the afternoon, particularly if you've got kind of work-related, productive things to do in the afternoon, because then you're going to be more productive in the later parts of the day. So some of the reasons why you might want to incorporate a nap is if you are someone who is training quite frequently and perhaps quite hard during the week, these can be great little recovery periods just to boost your energy levels, get you a little bit more muscle recovery in, particularly if you might be training twice a day. So the reason why I try and incorporate naps when I can is because generally most days of the week I'm training in the morning and I'm training in the afternoon. And it is very beneficial for my performance in my afternoon session if I've managed to sneak in, even just a 10, 15, 20 minute nap in between the two sessions. So, just to give you an example of myself, I'll train in the morning before work. Obviously, I'll have breakfast, I'll have lunch, and then after lunch, if I can, if I've got a pocket of time, I'll try to fit in a short nap somewhere between the hours of, 1 and 2 usually. And then I'll, try and get my afternoon training in somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock, and it definitely makes a huge difference, especially if you are starting to get a little bit tired in the early afternoon, as many people do, and you want to try and beat that afternoon slump that tends to happen an hour or two after lunch, around the hours of 2 or 3. Well, actually something that can help you with that is trying to incorporate one of these short recovery period naps that can just boost your alertness and productivity for the rest of the day, and just give you that kind of little rest. It's very popular in kind of Italy and Spain and countries like that to have a siesta, right? And actually, a lot of studies have shown that has a huge impact on the heart health of the populations that have those siestas. I suppose, obviously, not to mention the fact that they're going home for lunch and, so on and so forth. But we can get a lot of benefit from those little kind of recovery period naps for sure. Naps have also been shown to help to relieve stress and boost mood and boost testosterone, for example. So, there's plenty of reasons and plenty of benefits for sneaking in naps in the day if you can. It's not something that makes you a lazy person or anything like that. In fact, it actually is quite a good part of recovery, as with anything. There's so many different recovery tools out there. Maybe you are having cold showers, maybe you are having hot baths, maybe you're foam rolling, whatever else you might be doing. naps can be a crucial part of that, and perhaps even the most crucial part of these kind of recovery tools, because especially if it allows you to train more and to train harder perhaps and with more energy and intensity, well, that's always going to be a good thing, but you're going to need the energy to do that. But definitely these kind of early afternoon and early evening naps can definitely help you with that. So how can you actually set up this napping environment? So ideally you want to pick a nice quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed for that half an hour period of time. Perhaps you might want to use something to help you to relax. So you might listen to some kind of relaxing sleep music, a sleep story, something like that. You can obviously use apps like Headspace or Calm, and they might even have a nap setting or a kind of an unwind setting. You can obviously plug that in and listen to that. I tend to find a nice quiet dark place, and I use what is it's kind of a sleep mask, but not quite a sleep mask. It's a cold sleep mask, so it's an ice pack sleep mask. Essentially, you pop it in the freezer for an hour or two, you take it out, and I use that for my nap. So I'll pop that on. Obviously, it's nice and cool on my head, especially during the hot weather, obviously. But also, it just kind of cools down your body temperature somewhat, which is obviously very beneficial for getting to sleep. As we described before, for you to kind of fall asleep, your body temperature needs to drop by about 1 degree Celsius. But obviously, in the middle of the day, that sometimes can be quite difficult to do. So yeah, definitely, I would recommend an ice pack sleep mask. Essentially, very useful, very nice. It makes the eyes feel a lot more refreshed as well when you wake up. So yeah, no, that's kind of how to set up the environment. Like I said, it doesn't have to be in bed. It could be on the sofa, or it could be even on a kind of an armchair or a chair with your legs slightly elevated, just to kind of get the blood flowing upwards a little bit. So that's it for today's video, all about naps. Hopefully you found it useful. If you have any additional questions or you want some support with how to set up your sleep, your naps, anything related, please don't hesitate to reach out. If not, I will see you in the next video, so see you later.